Confusion is normal at the beginning of any relationship. Two people are learning each other. They might have different communication styles, different expectations, perhaps a little uncertainty while things come into focus. That's healthy ambiguity. Sometimes people misread signals. Sometimes they step on each other's rhythms. Most of the time, they simply need time to align. That's not a problem. That's a learning curve. But confusion that never resolves is something else entirely. When questions keep getting answered with more questions. When clarity always seems to be just one more conversation away. When you feel like you're constantly adjusting but never settling. That isn't uncertainty anymore. This is a kind of confusion that never resolves itself. It isn't accidental. It's leverage. And when it comes to any form of relationship with a bargirl, leverage means everything. Here's a simple test that tells you a lot. Who is adjusting more? Who initiates the repair conversations? Who explains themselves after tension? Who feels responsible for smoothing things over so the relationship can keep going? In healthy dynamics, effort moves both ways. Sometimes you carry more. Sometimes they do. But if clarity only flows in one direction, something is off. If you're the one constantly trying to understand, clarify, reassure, and stabilize, while the other person remains vague, reactions, or distant, well, that someone isn't confused. That someone is managing the frame. One of the most subtle ways men get played is through language that sounds reassuring but doesn't go anywhere. Plans that feel real when they're spoken or promises that calm you down in the moment. This is language of a future that always exists in words, but never quite shows up in action. For example, you bring up something important, she reassures you, you feel momentary relief. Then nothing changes. Words should reduce anxiety. They should move things forward. They should create traction. If reassurance resets your anxiety instead of resolving it, something is wrong. That's not communication. That's sedation. Another common pattern is disappearing and returning. If the person you talk to does this, watch out. This might not be leaving outright. It may just be pulling away enough to destabilize you. Silence, distance, emotional withdrawal. Then she comes back warmer, softer, and more present. The ensuing relief feels like connection, but pay attention to the rhythm. Distance used for regulation is healthy. Everyone needs space. Distance used for leverage is not. If her absence increases your anxiety and her return resets it, you're not in a rhythm, you're in a loop. Men start to doubt themselves as arguments tend to go nowhere. You bring up something reasonable, such as a boundary or concern. Somehow, at the end of the conversation, you're the one apologizing. Your own concern or boundary is flipped against you, suddenly becoming insecurity or control or pressure. Slowly the focus shifts away from her behavior to your reaction to it. When you feel wrong for asking reasonable questions, the game is already being played. Another signal is explanations that sound intelligent but never conclude. This means that you are being slow-dripped information. There's always more context you need to uncover. There's always nuance or emotional complexity that you, quote, couldn't possibly understand. It's fog. And fog keeps you exactly where you are, stuck and confused. Before your mind accepts any of this, your body already noticed. Most men who are in relationship with a bargirl develop an anxious, hypervigilant mindset. There is a constant scan for tone shifts, delays, or changes in energy. The man knows what she's done in the past and is trying to manage that risk through micromanagement. This never works, and you weren't crazy or needy for doing this. When a situation feels unstable or ambiguous, it is often soothing to exert control to offset the imbalance. Your nervous system is simply noticing patterns before your intellect is allowed to name them. I also want to be clear about what this video is not. This isn't about all women. This isn't about being suspicious or guarded with everyone. And it's also not about leaving the moment something feels off. Seeing manipulation doesn't obligate you to act instantly, but it does obligate you to stop lying to yourself. Clarity comes before decisions, not after. This is not a negotiation to have with yourself. If you needed this video, you are not weak. You're simply late to trusting yourself. There's nothing wrong with wanting clarity. There's nothing wrong with noticing patterns. And there's nothing wrong with stepping out of confusion when it starts costing you your peace. Clarity doesn't come with noise. It comes without fog and with stillness.